an incredible opportunity once again to welcome the creative community over here at the COACHMC studio. This is the place where we'll help you, actors, performers, entertainers, artists, to really perform in a unique way, to propose a remarkable behavior delivery and audition. Whatever the audition takes place, whatever you audition for, you audition in a unique and impactful manner. And today I have another episode of Talks on Acting with a great guest that I'm going to introduce in a couple of seconds. And you know, guys, Talks on Acting is always about interviewing masters of their respective craft. We're always kind of searching for leaders of the respective industry. Today, it's going to be the representative side, because we as actors, as entertainers, we need to be represented. We need to get in touch with these movies, with these great projects, and we need someone who kind of negotiates, right, our wages, our role, the importance of our creative narrative and all that. And this is a truly important and fundamental part of the acting endeavor, right? A lot of people focus on the art, on the creation. That's beautiful and kind of, fletching out your core product, but we can't do all the work on our own. We need collaboration in any type of industry in order to really reach those summit points of success. And therefore, I couldn't be more pumped for today's episode of Talks on Acting to welcome Bianka Krausch on the show. She is the co-founder and the leader of Talent Direct Agency, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, agency down here in South Florida. She is one of those industry leaders that we need in order to grow as a creative community, in order to kind of, expand our narrative. She will definitely assist us with a lot of info nuggets and her great energy and a passion. We see her all over the place because we are networkers and connectors as well. And every time we go to a new event, she is there. And so that tells us the dedication, the passion, and the drive that she has and that she transmits with every line that she proposes. So welcome on the show.
Hi, thank you so much. What a great welcome.
Of course, you deserve
I'd like to do this everywhere.
We got here to this beautiful place, Alessandra and I, my wife and I, the general manager of this company and the talker of this company. We got to this beautiful place called South Florida over a year ago. And we kind of bumped into each other pretty quickly because we're looking out for the events, the network opportunities, the short movie screenings and all that. Why we chose South Florida was the fact that we saw that there is a market that is maybe slowly and it's developing, but I feel like Miami is a unique battleground for stories. It's like a melting pot for stories that's you can't find anywhere else. And so it's a fascinating film market. And we wanted to kind of, start something new with people that are hungry, that are moving to this place because it's such a fresh market in a way. It's kind of reinventing itself, where compared to other markets, a bit more saturated. They're kind of, going through fluctuations right now. Here, we feel like, we need finance. We need more structure. We'll talk about that. We need all these, big names, more studios, more jobs, more opportunities. But definitely there is something about South Florida that is about, to kind of come up. It will definitely kind of participate in this new industry that's about to reshape right now. And so talk us a little bit about what do you think about South Florida? Where do you think it's positioning in the future also?
I was here for the boom when we had the film incentives, and obviously, we were so busy. We were running out of people every day to put on set. And that was such a fun, amazing time. That kind of completely came to a standstill. I think we ran out of incentive money in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously everything changed quite drastically after that. Commercial, we've always done really well. I don't think that's going to go away. Just like you guys moved down here. I moved here at the age of 22. I'm turning 45 tomorrow, so I've been here almost 23 years, which is
wow.
I haven't even spent 23 years in Germany or any other place, or even 5 years in the same place. So the fact that I've been in the same area for so long, it's home. And I think just like many others, I want to work where I live. We live in paradise.
What do you want to explain? It's paradise, folks.
When it comes to arts and culture and even entertainment and food, people and the places you can go to. I mean, anything from soccer to football to pickleball. There's so many great stories that can be told in Miami. They can really recreate almost any backdrop. Do I think that state level incentives are a must? Yes, I do think they need to come back, and we need to figure out how. I think that the fact that it's coming back at a county level now, that that we're becoming. I don't know if you saw the article that just went out on the South Florida Business Journal. That we are becoming this indie production hub. That's really great. And I think with the local counties like pushing out their incentives, and Nick can show the ROI hopefully soon on what that does to the economy here and how much that brings in. Hopefully then we can take it to, and I know this is a year of change. I'm not super into the political side of it. I know Film Florida does a lot with that, and that's my sister more so than I am involved with that. But I know there are some changes happening this year, so there's a little bit more positive outlook.
We've been running in a lot of new filmmakers, which is every last Wednesday of the month. We're at the Film Gate. We've been seeing better and better short movies coming in from South America with local film directors, crew that are combining and, you know, collectively producing new stuff. When you hear a great indie market, you know this is going to be the next mainstream market. It's a predecessor, right? If you go to Paris, London, Berlin, all these cities, why did they become the cities that they are today? Why did they become trendsetters? And because in the beginning, indies were staying there, right? Whether it was Montmartre in Paris or it was Kreuzberg in Berlin, whether it was, you know, Chelsea, Soho in London, these places were attracting these indie people, these new messengers of their art. And they were creating the substrata, the culture that then kind of turned into fertile soil. And then the mainstream productions came in and kind of ramped everything up and structured everything around it. So indie to me is always a good, like a positive sign. We're seeing so many, like, I don't recollect having seen so many short film festivals in California, to be honest. I see short film festivals down here all over.
A lot. We're the number one state when it comes to film schools. So for us, like when you really look at it on a government level, the fact that we have, you know, we have the Bright Future Scholarship. So if you have a certain grade level or not, most colleges in Florida, you can go for free. So if you go to film school, then that's compensated with taxpayer money. They can't actually live here, so then they move out of state. So I think if any which way you look at this, or like when you have an incentive, the money that's being spent here, I just think it was very short-sighted when that was removed. I think the first come, first serve hurt us when we did have the money. So it was spent very quickly in specific areas of Florida. And listen, there are other people that can probably talk better on this topic, but we already know now what didn't work. I think for anybody to sit back and say there can't be an industry or we can't do this because we don't have incentives, that's not true. And Miami is becoming the tech hub of the United States. When there's tech in the city, there's money in the city. And I know I have a lot of friends who've sold tech companies at very, very high prices. And a lot of them are executive producers. They do mostly live in California, my friends that are in that, but they're slowly starting to trickle down here. So we just have to be more creative, collaborate more, tell the stories, you know, that we want to tell, but then figure out how we can sponsor it or raise money. Just every time I hear, I mean, I feel like we'll post something and I get a little bit of, well, we don't have incentives. Oh, well, our blah, blah, blah. This is why it's negative. I'm like, I can be a Debbie Downer and a keyboard warrior all day long.
It always sounds a bit corny, but hey, I was a street painter. I started my art on the street. I was making zero money. When I was not selling art, I couldn't, you know, afford buying anything to eat. Yes, crying for incentives and all that stuff. Sure. I mean, it's important, definitely, because it attracts major industries. But I think people underestimate their power, underestimate what they're actually capable of. Instead of always looking for excuses why they can't do something, look for the solutions why you should do something and kind of canalize, get your friends on board. These old movies, well, why are we still watching them? It's not because they had the best special effects or they were the greatest productions on earth. It's just because they were made with so much dedication, passion, and charm that you can't get over or around them. And I think an artist like needs to rely on these forces first, and then of course also looking for the institutional ways of getting more liquidity in order to create bigger structures into the plate. We have a great indie scene, we have a great commercial scene, we have great short movies, but we need the bigger productions in order to kind of, you know, set this up as a thriving real industry that can be also taken seriously on a national level, because we are falling behind. Of course, Atlanta is ramping up. Tyler Perry is creating like a behemoth, like a monster over there in Atlanta. Mark Wahlberg is creating a new studio with Sony in Nevada for $145 million. Even New Jersey has like $127 million for its new studio incentive. So there's definitely kind of air and range that we need to explore. But also this is like for all the creators out there who are struggling, because this links in perfectly to a story just happened to me the last Film Gate. I met this director who just shot this dystopian, kind of disturbing conversation, futuristic short film. And I loved it. It was truly crazy. It was unique. It was weird, but it was truly unique. And I talked to him after the event and he said, yeah, I want to sell my equipment anyways. Thanks for the compliments. It's like, why? I don't see a road. I don't see success. I don't see this. It's like, you know how many paintings Picasso created in his whole life? How many paintings of Picasso do you remember? So we remember maybe 1-2 paintings, but he created 12,000 of them. And this is just paintings. And then he created 6,000 pieces of pottery. He has created 1,000 something rugs and curtains and everything. It's like, you need volume, you need to create, you need to invest in your art. And then bada boom, it will eventually, the critical mass, like Malcolm McGladwell, great book, right? right? The tipping point. The critical mass at a certain point activates the trigger of you getting acknowledged by the liquidity forces. There's definitely a point to make here. We need incentives. We need those financial institutions to back us up. We need better structures. But you need also to kind of tell to the creators, hey, remember where you come from. You're living in one of the greatest towns on this planet. You're healthy. You have all sorts of technical equipment. You have great filmmaker friends. Get them together and shoot your projects. Don't wait for money.
That's where I feel like, actually on all sides, that's where I feel like the most breakdown is happening, is they don't know to ask. They don't ask. They don't know to ask. Once this idea forms, let's make sure that we reach out to decision makers, start figuring out, which counties have what plans available to us. I'm actually very surprised. I have a young group of actors that we represent that have a production company as well, and they just started posting about a movie. I'm really excited for them. I'll try to help them as much as I can. But when I saw this and I saw that they were fundraising, I'm like, listen, guys, why don't you go? You need to go check with the counties. You need to see what's available for you. There are lots of, especially for startups and first, second, third timers, there's a lot of funding available. Go, especially if you're shooting it here, go apply for it. For actors, don't give up. Figure out another angle. Figure out which rooms you need to get into. Figure out which networks you can join and get involved in these groups. They do really cool things.
You don't need the government to tell you that you're an artist. You're an artist because you produce art, because you use your creativity to find the solutions you need in order to kind of make that thing, that vision, that idea of yours, that hunch, that stuff that you talk about with your friends, and all of a sudden, hey, this is actually good, to turn that thing into something visible and tangible, right? Money, markets, that it's truly important, but we create the market also, right? Don't expect someone to come here and create the market for you. And also, this goes out to the newbies who think, I'm going to wait for the big studios, and then I'm going to apply for the projects. They're going to look for pros. They're going to look for people who have already 10,000 hours in their bag, so they know that someone can deliver reliable, high quality material, because a production minute and those big studio lots, like you were mentioning, like Telemundo Studio is an amazing facility. It was built for almost a $250 million. So when you go in there, you need to produce, you need to deliver. And the quicker you are, the more effective you are, higher the chances you get booked again. So you want to have your game already kind of sorted out when these people come in. Sometimes I feel people are lazy because they want to know beforehand if it's worth it, but you don't know beforehand. And your story is like a picture book example. Walk me through a little bit of your onboarding process.
We do only offer exclusive representation. I have a couple of people that I've worked with for a long time that are multi-listed, that are still on our roster. Basically, you submit to the agency through our website. We have, and I think a lot of people just don't read anymore, but we have all of our stuff on the website and how we want to receive. And it's literally submit your your headshot, your resume, a reel if you have it, any kind of proof of your work. If they're referred to an acting coach, we've pretty much audited, I think, all the acting coaches that we know of here. I went to every single acting school. We have a referral list that we hand out to talent, but sometimes I can make a recommendation if I can pick up a certain character or the type of person they are, where they might do well, or maybe there's a community at this particular place that they'll do well with. And then we may make those suggestions, but we look at what they submit. I would say out of every 100 submissions, the team maybe looks at 5. So it means we pre-screen, and 5 then out of 100 gets sent around.
Get into the short list. Yeah.
And then I would say out of that, maybe 1 or 2 offers are made. So just for point of reference of representation offers, we're not interested in quantity. Good. So it really needs to be people that we think that are open to coaching, that will take this seriously, that understand that this is a business and this is my full-time business. It's not a hobby. I'm not interested in any hobbyists whatsoever. And that doesn't mean that you can't be a hobbyist actor. That's totally fine. But there are other agencies and that'll take it, because people take it very personal. Yeah. Well, they're really mean. They didn't take me on. No, I wasn't mean about it. And I didn't take you on because it didn't match what we're looking for. And if I don't think I can procure opportunities for you in the industry, you want me to be not me, but anyone on my team to be your biggest cheerleader. So if we're not in this cheerleader position for you, why would you even want to put all those eggs in one basket if we're not sharing for you? But that's kind of what I try to tell people too. They're always welcome to go and submit somewhere else if we're declining representation, or maybe listen in and take the points that we make or what we've talked about or the questions that we ask and think about how you can improve yourself, and then come back in and resubmit. So we've actually a few times not taken people in the first round, but they're with us now, and we love them because they listened. They came back a year later with good headshots, acting training, a little bit of experience, like backstage Mandy, whatever they probably self-submitted on Actors Access and whatnot. And that's, there's nothing wrong with that. Anybody who's coming into this and thinks it's going to be easy. If you want easy, you're in the wrong industry.
You want to earn these numbers that Selma Hayek is earning or Woody Harrelson? How do you think you earn those numbers? With easy jobs?
Or someone who just comes in and within the first month is, I'm really not looking for this type. Just leave roles, please. Like, you've been here a month. Like, let's keep it realistic. And then there's, I think our industry is very special because I think we're dream makers. And so, like, there are a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of disappointment. Make sure that's your fuel. Like, turn your hurt feelings
Exactly. Our art is personal, but we shouldn't take it personal. There is a distinct difference there. It's personal because we create it. It's unique. It's recognizable according to what we connect with, where we kind of feel kind of inclined. But then if someone says no to the art that you're producing, he doesn't say necessarily no to the one who's producing it. The artist and the artist is like something different. Sometimes your art just needs more time, needs more maturity, more critical mass. And then, like you said, maybe in a couple of years you come back, bada boom, your art is mature. So we're not necessarily saying no to you as a person. Right now is not the right opportunity to do it. It's work that needs to be done in order to really understand, to make this really a thriving relationship. That's all. The modern times and social media, everybody's screaming and everybody is triggered by all the smallest things. And so therefore, art also takes a time to produce. Is this one of the biggest pieces of advice that you would give to the young guns who try to get into your agency? But also, of course, to look for the quality, the style that they're proposing, the material that they're sending in?
Well, that, and I would say too, we've here and there, I mean, when we do our events, it's usually we're there organizing, so it's a little bit hard. My head's not completely clear, but if you want to get signed, I'm not saying buy tickets to these events that we host. It's just get in front of people.
You
have to. I mean, like, good friends now that I've known for a while are from this industry, people that hang out with it. It's not just work. It's literally, you need to breathe and live and drink this industry. Like, get yourself out there, start networking, make sure that you get your headshots from professional headshot photographers. Your mom's friends, sisters, dog sitters, whatever, portrait photographer is not a headshot photographer. Make sure you have the right materials. Get your advice, get your industry advice from real accomplished or trained professionals. Do not get them from another person on set. You don't know what their history is.
What their agenda is.
Yes. What their agenda is, correct. And like to just like they do on social media, people talk to talk. There's an opinion just because you can have one. It's not even researched. It's not, maybe it's true for them, might not be true for you. I don't research, use the different unions as a guidance. Like, if you're wondering if an agency is legit or not. I mean, SAG-AFTRA, we have to go by different rules. At least, you can check out your locale and see which agencies are affiliated with SAG-AFTRA. There's so many different ways to just kind of check into things. Do the work. Don't come in, say, hi, Agatha, and I don't have anybody by that name on my team. I'm really interested. I've read about your agency, so it's a copy and paste from another agency. They just treat this like a business. Treat me like a professional. I'll treat you like a professional. Let's make sure that you understand what you're getting into. Make sure that you understand the type of agency you're applying to. See what their bookings are. Look at their roster and see if you maybe know people that
Is this matching? Like, look at the people they have. Is this completely the opposite of what you are? Or is this like, this is the style that you want to be also represented with? I think people, they don't know who they are. So please, agent, tell me who I am. Please, acting coach, tell me who I am. Please, director, tell me who I am. No, it's up to you to propose something. And then there is collaboration. Then there are adjustments, directions, little assignments that, aimed at improving the quality. But you need to know who you are, at least to some extent. What type of artist are you? What is the style that you want to be in? The movies you like to be in? What type of actor do you like to be?
But you're asking for headshots and resume, but then you already know. Like, if the industry tools are already too much for you to try to get together, then you're in the wrong industry. Or you just need to stay at the level where you're at and then find the companies that'll support you that way. And that is totally fine. That's totally fine. There are companies who don't require much of anything. They just need bodies there. And that's fine. Don't do champagne taste on your budget and then ask me to, bring you to stars. We can't do that. And that's really what we try to convey to our team. But I'll tell you something, we've built a community that's so great. I'm so proud. Every time we do our staff, or we had our company picnic not too long ago, and then just the quality of people that were in the room, it is so much more fun.
We feel the same way. Like, sometimes we have to turn down like potential clients or students because we feel like we're not on the same page. It starts from, of course, being punctual, kind of, I give a lot of assignments. I really work on their mind, on their body, on their vocal. Like, we really train holistically. And so there's a lot of homework. There's a lot of stuff to think about. I want you to take note, record the videos because I want you to improve. And then the week, the next week they come in, it's like, I haven't done anything. It's like, why? I'm sorry. No, you don't have to tell me you're sorry. Look into the mirror. Now say I'm sorry. You're not doing these things for me to make me happy. I'm your coach. I can get you to a point where you finally can show the world what you're capable of. What I think these assignments are is the way to get you there. If you don't do them, you will not get there. So say sorry to yourself.
No, I fully agree with you. Using that same analogy, can you imagine if I'm sorry, I forgot to submit you. I just forgot. Can you even imagine? I didn't send the self-tape because it was raining outside. Okay. Right.
Isn't it funny? They're ready to go to college, to university, spend thousands of dollars for these institutions. No problem. Yeah, I create debts all around the world, and my life, I'm going to be indebted to you to get only the training. But here, if I ask you for a couple of headshots and a bit of consistency, it's happening. It's happening. It's good to have that exhaust valve as well. Guys, I'm sorry, creative community out there. This is what we need to go through in order to serve you. We're creating this super luxurious product that is somehow also highly spiritual, right? And electrified by our experiences. And so therefore, I think a lot of people behind their mask, they realize, hey, let's create this. Of course, I take care of this. We will find, there is something like an unspoken law that artists they do still support each other. They do want to see the community thrive, because otherwise, if the community doesn't thrive, there are less job opportunities also for you. So in a way, yes, we are egoistical, narcissist, crazy megalomaniacs. But on the other hand, we are also these crazy, supportive, loving, kind of artists, that love to connect and network and kind of create this thriving environment. So that's truly crazy.
And that energy is so, like when you walk into a room and not exactly happens, the energy. Yes. Every time I come from the events, I'm like deeply exhausted physically, but then my brain that night, I can't sleep because I just met so many cool people. I follow up with everyone. Then I see the emails come through. Hey, I met so-and-so, but there was a card. Can you introduce me? There's so much that happens after. And I think there's quite a bit of stuff that quite a few projects that are booking because of the event. I mean, at least from what I've seen come through. And I know there were two of my producer friends that were super excited. One booked this piece, and then one is talking to somebody else that he met there. So that's what we want. So for anyone to say that you can't have an industry because of lack of incentives, getting back to that, you can. Actors can find work here. Now, if you're a super special, character actor or whatever, maybe it's not as much as everyone else, but then set yourself up for the fact that you're going to be the first one to be called. Every single time there's a role for you, like completely owning your niche is just as important.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Maybe it's harder, but then every time there is they're going to call you up because they know, she's the exotic one. We're going to need her for that specific, kind of project, for that style, right? Patricia Arquette. You don't book Patricia Arquette for all sorts of Hollywood roles, but if you book Patricia Arquette, you know exactly what you're getting.
You're looking for.
Yeah, it's that indie vibe that she's delivering even to a mainstream film, and that could be a great value proposition even for a young artist and actor as well.
And don't box yourself in so much. And I think the last thing I want to put to that real quick, just because we talked about the events, honestly, again, I want to lead back to, we have such a great community we've created. If it wasn't for all the TDA members and like our actors that volunteer at all of our events, none of this would happen. Every time we have at least 20 people or somewhere around that volunteer, come in. We're putting catering, whatever together and setting up bars and setting up backdrops. And it's just, once again, I think to create something that people want to be a part of has been such a pleasure these last 5 years. And I really, really hope it continues this way.
Creative community, thank you so much for sticking with us. We will include all the links of Talent Direct Agency, and of course, all the links that you need also you can get at Movie Maker Miami in order to get to know us also personally. Like if you're from the area and you want to bump into each other, like we said, we want to hear you laugh, we want to see you smile, we want to see how you dance, how you move, and then we can kind of add you to this beautiful circle of trust that we have down here. See you next time with the next video.
Bye.